Nigeria is in mourning. Our country is mourning. Today we are mourning the 47 brothers and sisters that were killed during the ill-fated Nigerian presidential elections of 23rd February 2019. May we observe a moment of silence in honor of those that were massacred by the government of Nigeria. May their souls rest in perfect peace. This continuing mourning caused by those in government must stop. And it will not stop until we Nigerians stand up and we force them to stop. Our land is too soaked with blood, and that is the problem we have in Nigeria. This mourning must come to an end. As a coalition, we decided not to speak before now. We wanted to watch the scenario play out after the ill-fated Nigerian presidential election. And between that election and now, many things have happened. We have seen many videos, we have seen many evidences, we have seen what happened, and now it is time for us to speak. As a coalition, we don't just jump to speak, we make our analysis. We sent questionnaires to all our members in 32 countries to appraise the Nigerian election. And the result of that questionnaire was overwhelming. Fellow Nigerians, we have seen Nigerians being disenfranchised again and again. The so-called election results did not in any way reflect the votes and the will of the Nigerian people, home and abroad. After stealing the people's mandate, you now ask them to go to court. #Ole. People were prevented from voting. Votes were burnt in the presence of police officers. Returning officers were forced to write results at gunpoint. Government officials like Amechi Rotimi was seen using soldiers to intimidate and kill Nigerians. Our people were killed in broad daylight by the same forces of darkness that have truncated the destiny of our country, Nigeria. The good thing about the election is that Nigerians now have the courage to stand before their political oppressors and call them Ole. They are now stoning some of them with pure water. This is just the beginning. Nigerians are now keying into our no mantra. Henceforth, wherever you see these good-for-nothing politicians, don't stop shouting Ole. Don't stop shouting no. Keep shouting no. Keep shouting no. We must resist them. They don't mean well for our country, whether PDP or APC. It is equally very shameful that politicians whose names were published by the government for looting our treasuries are returning to the Senate to make laws for Nigeria. People like Stella Odwa and Peter Wamboshi, their names were published. People with EFCC cases, they are returning to government because they invested monies that they stole into the system in the name of being smart politicians. Now they are back. We are not saying that Atiku would have been better than Buhari. Atiku is part of the problems we have in Nigeria today. APC and PDP rigged. APC outrigged PDP because they are both criminal bedfellows. That is their definition of change. Atiku has just redistributed some of the money he allegedly stole from Nigeria, according to Olusegun Obasanjo. Atiku just wanted to reinvest his loot, in order to expand his business empire, but Nemesis caught up with him. He will spend more as he's going to court. Obasanjo did not find Atiku fit to be his vice president, yet he recommended Atiku to be our president. Who needs the advice of any living Nigerian president? They never meant well and they never did well. Look around. Which living Nigerian president today can we put his photograph on our national currency? None. None. PDP equally rigged the election, especially in states controlled by PDP governors. That is exactly the same way that governors install their stooges to organize local government elections. They write the results in their hotel rooms and disenfranchise citizens of the state. Now, Atiku has reeled out 6 points that he wants Buhari to attend to. Atiku wants the frozen bank account of corrupt politicians to be unfrozen. Little wonder he campaigned that he was coming to enrich his friends. Sadly, in his 6-point demand, Atiku did not mention the 47 Nigerians that were killed during the presidential election. That shows the insensitivity of our political leaders or political elites, as they call themselves. They kill and they rig into office. That is why they are so insensitive to us, because they feel that their minds and money brought them into office, not our votes. Just imagine the many votes that came out from the same areas where Nigerians have been massacred since 2015. When the soldiers of Zimbabwe freed their countries from the dictatorial hold of Robert Mugabe, our soldiers used the gun to intimidate and kill Nigerians during elections as a way of enforcing Buhari's second coup against unarmed Nigerian people. Now that elections are over, we shall see whether Nigerian soldiers and police officers, whether they will attend the same market as us. We are in the same boat. We buy in the same market. We will see if their lives will be better than our lives. So as a trained soldier, if a public servant tells you to shoot a Nigerian during the election, you just shoot. Fela Anikulapo Kuti was right after all. Election is now war. Is that your training? For any Nigerian you kill, for any baseless reason, that is how another soldier like you will kill a member of your family in another part of the country. Whatever comes around goes around. Whenever you see soldiers during elections, what are they doing? They are executing a coup to either forcefully change a government or to make a government remain in office. 47 Nigerians were killed in that election, excluding unreported cases in remote areas. That was not an election. It was a war without enemies. Where is the often flaunted integrity of Mr. Buhari? Votes at gunpoint. The people of Rivers State may appear blind today, but one day their eyes will be opened and they will ask from Rotimi Amechi and Nyesom Wike the blood of every citizen of Rivers State that they have shared in their greed and desperation for power. Both of them, they act as if there was no governor in Rivers State before them. But the day of accounting will come. If they don't ask you, they will ask your children. Whatever you are doing now, you are doing against your children. I'm talking to you, Amechi, Rotimi, and Nyesom Wike. The blood of people in Rivers State, since 2015, it is on your head. It is on your head. Whoever has sponsored, whoever has shed the blood of any Nigerian in any part of Nigeria in the name of dirty politics, we shall witness vultures feast on your carcasses. We do not wish to comment on the governorship election, which was another disaster. Since I was born, this is the worst election I've ever witnessed in my entire life. We don't have a government. Nigeria does not have a government. The day we will have a president in that country, Africa, and indeed the whole world, we know that we have a president, not this rubbish of stagnation, moving back and forth without a direction. A government without plan, a government without respect for the people. This shame must come to an end if Nigerians stand up now. We are not helpless as you think. We all saw the video of the boys who were on their way to Edo State, to Akwa Ibom from Edo State, allegedly sponsored by Adams Oshomole as thugs to disrupt the election in Akwa Ibom. That was the time that cultists were foolishly killing themselves in Edo State. You can be very sure that those boys have 99.9% cultist affiliation, sponsored by the same persons in government that are supposed to bring sanity to the system. Sadly, the only statement that Buhari made in his 4 years in office, which we have confirmed to be true, is that truly Nigerian youths are indeed lazy. They worked with their oppressors. They worked for their oppressors. As thugs, since you refused to take your destiny in your hands, Nigerian youths, but decided to join forces with your oppressors against yourselves, be ready to face the hunger, unemployment, continued insecurity, and other negatives. They made you poor in the first place so that you can worship them over 1,000 naira. Poverty indeed makes a man to eat from his enemy. The youths were going to disrupt elections in a state where we have one of the best resident electoral commissioners in Nigeria, Dr. Mike Igini. We don't just come here to talk negatively about people. If you are performing well, we say it. I will emphasize that Dr. Mike Igini is one of the best, if not the best, resident electoral commissioners Nigeria has now. I don't know him, but I've been following his excellent track records. Some polling units were located in bushes and in private homes before Igini was posted to Akwa Ibom. He dismantled those illegal locations and many other exemplary actions that he has shown. But unfortunately, this is the manner of youths that we have in Nigeria. The importation of thugs from Edo State was a plan hatched by Adams Oshomole and Godswill Akpabio, who was governor of Akwa Ibom for 8 years under PDP. But he defected recently to APC. He sees nothing wrong in killing his people for power. It was reported that the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was in a closed-door meeting at Uyo, where the meeting for the takeover of Akwa Ibom was discussed. Just before the election, Akpabio had boasted that by the time he will finish with Akwa Ibom in 2019, that the people will remember what the Minister of Information of Germany told Adolf Hitler when the minister was reporting the war situation when Germany invaded Poland in 1939. You know, Warsaw is the capital of Poland. So the German minister, when he was reporting to Adolf Hitler about the war, what did he say? The German minister said, Warsaw saw war, and war saw Warsaw. Akpabio said that the story of Akwa Ibom was in the election will be like that of Warsaw. Can you imagine? Understand two facts about the German invasion of Poland by Adolf Hitler. First, before Germany was attacked by Poland, German soldiers, they wore the army uniforms of Polish soldiers, and they attacked their own country, Germany, and destroyed few things, just to give the impression that it was Polish soldiers. And that was what provoked them. They gave the impression that Polish soldiers attacked them, and they were provoked and attacked Poland. But the truth is that they were the one that wore the uniform of the Polish soldiers. So the point that Akpabio was making was that it would destroy Akwa Ibom, his own state, but give the impression that it was not him. And that is why they imported thugs. The second thing I want you to know about the German occupation of Poland is that nearly 3 million Polish Jews were killed in German Nazi camps. In other words, Godswill Akpabio was saying that heads will roll in Akwa Ibom as he will be desperate to deliver the state to APC. These are the murderous leaders you call excellency and honorables in Nigeria. These are the ones youths are loyal to because they want 10 or 20,000 naira. But your sponsors keep their children at home or abroad. They first make you hungry so that you can worship their evil money. Instead of attacking your oppressors, you now attack innocent, poor Nigerians like you. Our coalition will set a committee to follow up that case of the thugs that were arrested. We want to see how that case will end. Justice must be done. Justice must be done. We cannot continue like this as a people. Our movement is set to change the face of politics in Nigeria. Enough of this barbarism. A group that called themselves the BOC, Buhari Support Organization, BSO, in the US. They said, we just read their story in Vanguard that they are applauding the so-called election of Buhari. Our coalition, the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, has the largest number of Nigerians in the diaspora in the United States. So don't mind those people, because they are just being sponsored. And we know that so-called Buhari Support Organization is being supported by embassies, Nigerian embassies, and the ambassadors, because they were appointed by Buhari. So they want to show that they are loyal to their masters. People who will see black and they cannot say this is black. They are killing Nigerians and you are applauding it because you want to retain your position. Judgment day will come. Articulating youths, mushroom political parties and fairy tale presidential aspirants who were planted to scatter the votes for a new Nigeria. We can see that the scale has finally fallen from your eyes. How market? Buhari purportedly won in all the states where Nigerians have been killed and displaced. Suddenly, the 20,000 Nigerians that were killed within the last few years in his regime rose up from their graves, collected their unclaimed voters' card from INEC offices, and voted for Buhari, the landlord of their death. All members of their families and friends suddenly forgave and voted for Buhari. Within the first 6 months of 2018, 600 Nigerians were killed in Benue, where Buhari did not even know that his former AIG refused to visit during the period of the crisis. Within that short period, 400 of us were massacred in Plateau, 250 of us were massacred in Taraba, 200 in Nasarawa, 100 in Southern Kaduna, 100 in Adamawa, 100 in Kogi State, on and on. Human beings, not chickens. Within 2 days of the 23rd and 24th of June 2018, coordinated attacks in Plateau State ravaged 11 villages, killing 300 of us. And they all voted for retired General Muhammadu Buhari from the sparse, bloody Bono villages of Uyim, Konduga, to Benue villages of Nyai, to Akwati, from Ruku to Kuzen, to the areas of Wunaka, Aja, Mada, Ruwan, Baure, Doka, Takoka, and the Tudun, Maijatao of Zamfara. People were killed, and all those villages voted for the oppressor. Really? The criminal result declared in Nasarawa State was even higher than the number of valid votes that were cast. We now have ghost voters, just the way we have ghost workers in Nigeria. Nigerians are not as stupid as the political desperados want us to be. The real result of that presidential election was when campaign spokesman of APC, Festus Keyamo, and Buhari's social media assistant, Loretta Onochie, could not deliver their polling units for the election of Buhari. The real result of that election was when the vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, could not win his polling unit, despite hawking his trader money as a campaign strategy. The true result was when Buhari lost in the 2 polling units situated in Aso Rock. The true result was when residents of Abuja, the seat of power, massively voted against Buhari. The real result lies in that fear that made Buhari to peep at his wife's ballot paper. It lies in that fear that made him to import foreigners to participate in the APC campaign election. The truth of the election result could be measured on the voting pattern after Aisha Buhari sincerely and categorically warned Nigerians that her husband was in office but not in power, as the government had been hijacked by 2 persons. Whenever external forces hijack your government as a president and you are helpless, it means that they are blackmailing your president because maybe they have a secret about him which he does not want the world to know about. The truth of the election result lies in the 300 foreigners arrested by INEC and immigration officers when they came to register for our voters card, but none of them were taken to court. The truth about how Nigerians voted could be measured by how women queued to receive 500 naira each as inducements. Some women who received trader money were later sponsored to protest that Atiku should not go to court. Mothers who did not feel for the other women whose children were killed during the election. They forgot that it was the court that made APC National Chairman Adams Oshomole to be governor of Edo State. You traded on the poverty of the people you already made poor. Our national flag ought to fly half-mast after that coup by Buhari, the second coup of Buhari, February 2023. INEC guidelines stipulates that results must be openly pasted in each polling unit. INEC refused to paste the results because they had a lot to hide. Is that failure not enough to cancel the entire election result? That was enough to cancel the election results. The law simply stipulates that after election, paste the results on the wall. Let everybody see. They didn't do that. Even the foreign observers you invited were caught rigging our election. You brought our sovereignty into ridicule. INEC started compromising before the election even started. El-Rufai threatened to kill foreign observers and return them home in body bags. Therefore, the foreigners were so afraid, too afraid to speak the truth. So it is now foreigners that should be confirming the validity of Nigerian election results? Nonsense. The day will never come when they will invite Nigerians to observe and validate election results of EU countries or the United States. As if inviting the African Union was not even enough. Colonial mentality. It beats my imagination how Pastor Yemi Osinbajo could endure to stay in office as a man of God, give testimony in church that he was re-elected on the blood of Nigerians, when he was supposed to resign honorably. Power. In the words of Abraham Lincoln, nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Muhammadu Buhari executed a second coup against the unarmed people of Nigeria using the scare tactics. He promised death sentence on whoever would snatch ballot boxes. Others were too scared to snatch, and he used that avenue to invade polling units with APC thugs and guns made up specially for lazy Nigerian youths. Burn the votes of Nigerians that have traveled long distances and waited long hours to vote after the usual late arrivals of election materials. Buhari got everything well planned out, that he even told journalists that after the elections he will congratulate himself. He hoped that nobody but himself will be president of Nigeria. In 2015, the election was postponed to give time for the diversion of money meant for equipping our enemy into our army into electioneering. In 2019, the election was postponed in order for the Tinubus and others to use bullion vans in dispatching money and repositioning thugs and soldiers to unleash mayhem on Nigerians. If it was another person from another political party that used bullion van to transport money, EFCC would have swiftly responded. The same Ahmed Tinubu that fought for democracy under Nadeko. The same Adams Oshomole who rode on the wings of unionism, fought Tony Anenis, godfatherism after hoodwinking us with his one man, one vote mantra. They forgot that power is temporal. Men who are not afraid of tomorrow, as if tomorrow is a promise, in the words of William Shakespeare in his book Measure for Measure. But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what is most assured, his glassy essence like an angry ape plays such fantastic tricks before high heavens as makes the angels weep, who with our spleens would all themselves laugh mortal. When Nigerians in diaspora advised that we should inject young and fresh candidates, you said that we are not on ground. Oh, you are living abroad, you are not on ground. Okay, we are not on ground, we are in the air. You are on ground, but you were so blind that you saw just two political parties and you decided to vote for your oppressors. You decided to choose between two evils. So there is a preferred evil. You prefer to choose between two evils. Now harvest season has come. Did you hear that any new politician like Omoyele Sowore, Durfela Duro Toye, Kingsley Moghalu, did you hear that any of them snatched ballot boxes? Did you hear that they hired thugs to disrupt election? Did you hear that they killed us? Did you hear? The difference is clear. Shine your eyes. These old politicians will not take us anywhere. Obiageli Ezekwesili knew that he was going to contest with dirty politicians. That was why she cleverly withdrew from the race. Nigeria already lost 196 billion naira in the stock exchange since INEC declared Buhari winner. Investors are already living in our country, and our debts are continually rising for future generations and the thugs to pay. 17 persons have been slaughtered as usual by gunmen in Benue State, and as usual, Buhari said nothing and did nothing about that. Well, he has told Nigerians that his second tenure will be more difficult. Nigerians should wait and see. For those of you that said that you will not waste your vote for younger candidates, as your vote counted now, as we say, welcome to Egypt. You have postponed your freedom once again. Since those that fought for our independence did not kill us, those that will fight to enslave us, they will die before us. That country belongs to each and every one of us. We cannot shy from that fact. We did not escort anybody to Nigeria. No. By act of omission, INEC gave the same certificates of return to Buhari and Osinbajo as president. It was not an error in the spiritual. Nigeria is bigger than all the Buhari's, Atikus, Tinubu's, and so-called cabals put together. Nigeria must be free. We must not give up on Nigeria, but we must stand up as a people, stand on a common platform and speak with one voice. And that is what our coalition is doing. We are now in 32 countries, and we know that before the end of this year, we shall double that number. Nigerians must begin to speak with one voice. Enough of complaining. I refuse to be a complainer. Let's be solution providers. The world is mocking us because of a few dissidents that have put our country where it is. Our complaint will never take us anywhere. We are too rich to be poor. We are too blessed to be cursed by this type of politicians. Politicians are building their country, but their countries and these ones are just taking money, stealing money, with no plans. Now, people who don't put our country as their priority, which normal person will kill his own citizens just because he wants to represent the same citizens? And they kill people, and they stay in office. As if nothing happened. Because they have sold their hearts to Satan. Nigeria has become so bad that a respected person even said that it is better to vote for a thief than for a murderer. Come on. What is the difference between both of them? The common mission of APC and PDP is to steal, to kill, and to destroy. They allocated votes to new presidential candidates in such a way as to show that the popular candidates among them were not really popular. They gave higher numbers to those that did not even campaign. We cannot be deceived. We know the facts. It was stated that 32% of registered voters participated in the election. It cannot be more than 16%. The other 16% were figures generated from massive rigging. Take, for example, look at politicians in Zamfara State. They were able to mobilize 438,682 votes for Buhari. But sadly, they were only able to mobilize 28 candidates to register for the common entrance examination. That clearly defines their interests. What a national embarrassment. APC claimed that they won, but they could not summon the courage to celebrate because in their hearts of hearts, their conscience is killing them because of the families of the 47 slain Nigerians that are mourning. APC and PDP murdered sleep, and they shall be washed away from their evil thrones by the blood of Nigerians. You cannot kill one citizen in any civilized country and expect the people to allow you to refuse to resume office. Never. You cannot. You will go straight to jail. You do not even know when elections are going on in developed countries. Our barbarism embarrasses heaven. All the problems we have today as a country is mainly because the spirits of innocent Nigerians killed over the years are crying for vengeance. We must reject a killer president. So this is the election that INEC spent 189 billion naira for. Some people were recruited and trained by INEC in some states to work during the elections. At last, their names were excluded, and strange names from nowhere just appeared. Names submitted by politicians to aid the rigging. A huge amount was budgeted for voters' education, but 1.2 million Nigerian votes were invalid in that election. That is almost the population of the Federal Capital Territory. People did not even know how to vote. 11.2 million persons refused to collect their voters' cards. Nigerians who lost hope in our electoral system. That number is the population of some 8 African countries. Many did not vote because the air was full with the thick fear of death. As long as we continue with this ballot box and ballot paper nonsense, Nigerian elections will continue to be theaters of war. We must quickly develop electronic voting systems for the 2023 elections, where data in our PVC are easily transferred to our telephone SIM cards that will enable us to vote from the convenience of our homes. We don't need to go to police stations, meet with thugs, or be harassed by soldiers. Just vote from your home, wherever you are. You don't need to travel to vote. The world has passed that stage with a country like Nigeria with desperate, murderous politicians. Nigerian elections will continue to be theaters of war unless we reduce the salaries of politicians strictly according to the law as stipulated by the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. A senator must not be any more than a permanent secretary, and no former governor must receive pension. For what? It is this huge amount of money that makes them to be desperate. And that is why you see somebody will leave office after 4 years, wants to contest and go back to that office because they cannot do private businesses, they cannot work, but they want us to work. Monkey they work, bamboo they chop. Politicians kill Nigerians not because they want to serve us, but because they want to serve themselves and their families through looting and receiving mind-blowing salaries. Yet our country is highly indebted. Highly indebted. In agreement with Nigerians home and abroad, currently operating in 32 countries under the platform of the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, GCSDN, we hereby pass a vote of no confidence on the election coup executed by Muhammadu Buhari and the compromising activities of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Mahmoud Yakubu has gone down in history as the masterminder of the worst election ever organized in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Any foreign leader that stretches forth his hands to congratulate Buhari will equally have the blood of slain Nigerians in his or her hand. We are not surprised that somebody like Paul Biya of Cameroon congratulated Buhari, birds of the same feather. He equally has the blood of Cameroonians in his hands. The other few countries congratulating Buhari now are the same ones benefiting from the fortunes and misfortunes of Nigeria. Rigging is worse enough, but Buhari and his agents superintended over the killing of Nigerians in a desperate move to retain power. We must remember Section 14, subsection 2B of the Nigerian Constitution as amended, which states that the welfare and security of the citizens shall be the primary purpose of government. Today, do we have welfare? No. Do we have security? No. Chapter 1, Article 4 of the African Charter on Human Rights, Human and People's Rights states, every human being shall be entitled to respect for his life and the integrity of his person. Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of the United Nations affirms everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of persons. Life is sacrosanct. In the light of this, we, Nigerians in diaspora, under the platform of the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, hereby declare that the Nigerian presidential election held on the 23rd day of February 2019 was neither fair nor free. It clearly made a mockery of elections. We cannot accept an election result where the sitting president used the ammunitions of state to terrorize and kill Nigerians. You cannot keep your children at home, deploy soldiers to your Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi and others, kill Nigerians in river states and other places, and you want us to recognize you as a president. No! You are a killer president. You have ignored the many deaths of Nigerians before now. Therefore, more deaths mean nothing to you, but it means everything to us. We are living abroad, but we still feel for our people at home, because one day we must return home. North, south, east, or west, home is the best. We refuse to return to darkness because of a recalcitrant few. We refuse to address Muhammadu Buhari as His Excellency, since he rose to power with the blood of Nigerians. There is nothing excellent about Buhari. Therefore, we hereby declare the following persons as persona non grata. That is, you are not recognized and you are not welcome. 1. Muhammadu Buhari, for giving permission to Nigerian soldiers to participate in our elections and killing innocent Nigerians thereof. 2. Adams Oshomole, for sponsoring thuggery, masterminding massive rigging, electoral malpractices, and luring corrupt Nigerians to their political party known as APC. For their sins and offenses against the Nigerian state to be forgiven. 3. Rotimi Amechi, who led soldiers to terrorize and kill our compatriots in River State in the name of election. We know that Amechi did all that because he wanted to prove to Buhari that the recorded tape where he spoke negatively against Buhari was false. We know the truth. You cannot cover your face. Number 4, Godswill Akpabio for hijacking ballot boxes, violently harassing electoral officers and criminally allocating votes to himself. 5, Rochas Okorocha for forcing a returning officer to write a fake result at gunpoint. The list will be updated continually. The consequences of this declaration is as follows. 1, we do not recognize your positions that you have imposed on Nigerians. You cannot kill us and be our leader. 2, we shall continue to mount pressure on the international community to disregard the positions that you forcefully occupy. 3, whenever you travel abroad, we shall legally congregate against you. We shall embarrass you. We shall boo you whenever we see you. You are not our leaders. Buhari is not our president. 4, whenever we see you at any international program or event, we shall do what the law permits us to do. You cannot be our president because the blood of our people is on your hands. We vehemently reject the so-called election of Muhammadu Buhari. We refuse the thief of our stolen mandate, nicknamed Mr. Integrity. Retired Muhammadu Buhari is not our democratically elected president. This is not a military regime. This coup has failed. After all that we have suffered in the last 4 years, in the name of change, if Nigerians allow this coup and the so-called re-election of Buhari to hold, it is written, then goeth he and taketh to him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. God forbid it will not happen in Nigeria. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria. Thank you.
What are you doing with this man? What is his role here? To correct the results? So what are you both of you doing? What will sorry do to this thing? I saw both of you correcting something here.
I'm adding. I'm not correcting.
You are adding. Both of you are adding. What is concerned Oyibo man with you now for this business? What are you doing, both of you doing with the original results?
How can army be climbing our fence to go and steal our results? This is one of the army man climbing our fence to steal our results.
This is a live recording of about 10 buses loaded with dogs who said they came to work for APC people. They were on their way to 4 lanes in Tima Ikere's campaign office. So as you speak, these are the policemen that arrested them, and I'm recording them. I'm recording them. I go send our phone.
Camera. Video.
So this is a live recording. You can see the buses. You can see all of them. Each of them have been brought out of their buses and they are lying down on the floor. this is what Nsema Ikere wanted to do, to foment trouble in Akwa Ibom State. They said they were brought in by, they were sent in by Adams Oshomole from Edo State. They said so far four buses have already arrived in Uyo.